Hello, this is Ed Huck with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here to give you your real estate market update for May of 2024 in under 5 minutes. Not 10, 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to dive into this. I'm going to talk as fast as I can while still making sense. So here's your update. What is going on today? Rates have kind of stabilized. So we've seen them floating right around that 7% mark. This is right from Freddie Mac. Today's 30-year fixed in Northeastern Ohio is right around 7%, and it's been that way for about a week or so. If you compare it back to mid-April, we were shade under 7 mid-April. I've even seen a few ads of some folks advertising rates at like 6.9 or 6.8. So we're right around that 7% mark. So that's great news. We do continue to hear that rates will probably stay this way for most of the summer, maybe even into the fall. So we'll see how that plays out. Number of new listings currently for sale. So that's actually kind of almost flat, right? So it's only 0.7% off. But as far as number of new listings year to date, this year versus last year, it's about the same. And the number of active listings, so the number of listings currently for sale is actually down slightly, but it's only down 1%. So that's really not that huge of a number. Number of homes pending. So the number of homes that have gone under contract is down a little bit. It's down about 2%. And the number of homes that have transferred year to date, and this is all for Cuyahoga, Lorain, and Medina counties, is again really about flat. It's right, basically 5,100 homes. So we're seeing this spring is starting to feel a lot like last spring market. Average sale price is actually up. It's up about 5% from last year. And if we look at the rolling 12, so if we look at a rolling 12, instead of comparing this year to date versus last year to date, if we look at the rolling 12, rates are up about 3.1%, which is actually down a little bit from where it was a few months ago. So the reason I like to look at this stat is it tells us it has more data involved, right? So to go back for 12 months and then another 12 months and compare those stats. And before we went bananas with all the appreciation that we saw over the last few years, we like to see 3 to 4% appreciation. So we're starting to fall kind of right into that pattern. I will argue, and some of you might be thinking this already, in certain markets, it's way up. It could be 5 or 6% up year over year, and other markets it might be a little bit flatter. But so real estate is definitely very regional. Not only I tell folks don't look at the national stats at all because that does not apply to Northeastern Ohio. And then one suburb could be way different than another suburb. Average asking prices. I added this graph, and I've not added this before, but I want to start looking at this too so you can understand what's going on. The average asking price is up from this year to date. And then the rolling 12, it's also up. It's around, a little over 10%, almost 11% up. And I threw this graph in here. And if you're on your phone, you might have to go back and look at your computer screen on this. But what you can kind of see is the green is the average asking price and the red is the transfer price. And we do tend to see more expensive homes get listed for the spring and the summer than over the winter. So that's why you see the seasonality, this up and this down here. But what I want you to pay attention to is this, as we're coming up this spring, as far as the average sale prices, look at this gap. So we saw this gap right here, say in 2021, where they kind of mirror each other, and the gap got a little bigger here. But this spring, this gap has gotten huge. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that and find out, was that because maybe a lot of builders all of a sudden put some inventory into the multiple listing service, or if that sellers are getting greedy and throwing these huge numbers on these houses. So we're going to continue to pay attention to that. Average days on market. So homes are selling a little faster this year than last year, about 3 days, nothing huge, but they are still selling pretty quick. And months worth of inventory, meaning when realtors look at the markets, we try to figure out how many months worth of inventory we have. And then that way we look and decide, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? In this case, anything under 3 months worth of inventory is a seller's market. So we're still in a strong seller's market. And when I look at this year versus last year, the stats say it's about the same as it was last year. So in review, rates are staying right around 7% still. Homes that are priced right, and I said this last month, are still flying off the shelf, and they're selling to multiple offers. We had 3 or 4 listings go live last week, and all the really cute ones sold well over asking and in a matter of days with multiple offers. Shortage of new homes and rentals still out there, especially ranch homes. If you have a ranch home and you're thinking about selling, call us today, because it will sell very quickly for top dollar. Everybody's looking to get into ranches, especially all the empty nesters. And yeah. And again, I think the good news is, for most markets, the appreciation is still happening. It's just not happening at the 10, 9% a year over year clip it was before. And the good news for that is we can't sustain that. So if that were to continue to be that way, we'd have some problems. So call us for all your real estate needs. Again, this is kind of general information. We can pull up all these stats for your specific city and or neighborhood or condominium complex. We'd love to help you out. We're here for you for all your real estate resources. Make it a great day.